voting and how we pick our leaders. Now, there's two main ways in which I would change the voting system, the voting structure, and how people go about voting, basically. The first one would be to introduce what I would call a negative vote into the election process. Which the basic idea behind this would be when you go to the election, you're not only casting a vote for the person that you most want to lead your country, you're also casting a vote for the person that you least want to run the country. So you say, okay, I pick this guy as the one that I most want to be in power, and this guy is the one that I least want to be in power. Now, how we tally these votes is for every I don't want this specific guy in power, that cancels out one of his votes for him to be in power. Now, why would you do this? In a two-party election, it's essentially meaningless. It wouldn't have any effect whatsoever. However, in an election where there's multiple major parties involved, doing this would prevent vote splitting in strategic voting. In the respect that, let's say hypothetically you have a country, right? And you've got three parties running to be the leader of that country. Party 1 is a left-wing party. Party 2 is let's say a center-right party. And Party 3 is a far-right party, for example, right? Now, let's say the population is split to the point of being about 60% conservatives and 40% liberals. That basically means that each one of these two right-wing parties, even though 60% of the population, the majority of the population, is in favor of a conservative leader, since there's two right-wing parties, that 60% gets split 30 and 30 on either side. And then 100% of the liberals vote for the Liberal Party, so that's 40% is going to win the election, right? And the same in the reverse scenario could happen. You could have two left-wing parties and one more right-wing party. And let's say that the right-wing party had 40% of the vote, right-wing politics had 40% of the vote, left-wing politics had 60% of the vote, but you're still going to end up with a right-wing leader, despite the fact that 60% of the population is in favor of left-wing policies. Introducing the element of also casting a negative vote to cancel out the leader that you want gone, or that you want not to be elected, means that these two left-wing parties now, they have a voice in conjunction with themselves. That means that though the vote would have gone to the conservative candidate in the scenario where the conservative candidate has 40%, the conservative candidate's 40% of voters, their negative votes are going to be split amongst these two parties, right? So roughly 20% apiece, leaving each party to fight it out between the 10%. 60% of both of these guys are going to cast their negative vote for the right-wing party. So that means they have 40% support of the 40% support, but that 40% support is canceled out by the fact that you have 60% of the population canceling it out. So you basically end up with negative 20% or a negative vote count, which indicates that the majority of the population does not want to vote for your party. And then it comes down to which of the two left-wing parties or right-wing parties got the most relative votes to each other, and that's the one that makes it in. That system is so much more sensible and so much more logical in terms of assessing the will of the people in a landscape where there are more than two major political parties in a race. Okay?